Domino is a 2005 American action film directed by Tony Scott and written by Richard Kelly. Inspired by Domino Harvey, the English daughter of stage and screen actor Lawrence Harvey, who became a Los Angeles bounty hunter. The plot flashes back as Domino, fashion model turned bounty hunter, narrates how a $10 million robbery came about 36 hours before. Supporting roles are Mickey Rourke, Edgar Ramirez, Delroy Lindo and Monique. Plot: Domino Harvey, a bounty hunter, has been arrested by the FBI, which is investigating the theft of $10 million from an armored truck 36 hours prior. Domino is interviewed by criminal psychologist Taryn Mills and agrees to tell her everything she knows about the case. In a more or less disoriented fashion, Domino explains about her profession and the events leading up to the theft, with Mills occasionally prompting her to give more detail. Domino, a former model living in Los Angeles, becomes a bounty hunter when, after being kicked out of college, she notices a newspaper advertisement for a bounty hunter training seminar. Her colleagues are Ed Mosby, Choco and their Afghan driver Alf. They are employed by Claremont Williams III, a bail bondsman who also runs an armored car business. Claremont's mistress, Leticia Rodriguez, works for the California Department of Motor Vehicles. Her granddaughter Micah is suffering from a blood disease and needs an operation urgently. The operation Micah needs costs $300,000, which Leticia does not have. Claremont comes up with a plan to get the money by setting up the robbery of $10 million from Drake Bishop, the billionaire owner of the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas and a client of Claremont's armored car business. His bounty hunters would then return the stolen money and collect a $300,000 finder's fee from Bishop. Leticia has been running a counterfeit driver's license racket at the DMV. A teenager named Francis arrives at the DMV and asks Leticia for fake driver's licenses for himself, his brother, and two of their friends. The FBI are tipped about Leticia's counterfeit driver's license racket. They threaten to send her to jail unless she gives them information about Francis, whom they have been surveilling. Leticia throws them off the trail by stating that Francis, his brother and his two friends are going to commit the robbery, when in reality she and Claremont are planning on doing it themselves. Leticia successfully carries out the robbery with the help of three of her co-workers. Claremont then finds out that Francis and his brother, who Leticia framed for the robbery, are the sons of mafia boss Anthony Sigliotti. He phones Leticia and tells her to abort the plan, leaving the money with getaway driver Locus Fender, who takes the money to his mother's trailer home. Claremont has the bounty hunters apprehend Francis, his brother and his two friends, and then tells them to deliver them to men working for Drake Bishop. Claremont next tells them to retrieve the money from Locus Fender and to deliver it to Bishop at the Stratosphere Casino. Following a shootout with Locus's mother, the money is retrieved. Sigliotti is told about his son's arrest and is led to believe that Bishop has had his sons killed. In reality, Bishop's men released him on finding that they did not know anything about the robbery. Believing his sons dead, Sigliotti is now out for revenge and, together with his crew, heads for the Stratosphere. In Las Vegas, Domino takes $300,000 of Bishop's money and gives it to Leticia for Micah's operation. At the Stratosphere, the bounty hunters meet with Bishop, who has an armed crew with him. Domino and Bishop discuss the money and what should happen next. However, unknown to the bounty hunters, Alf has stolen the money and filled the sacks with plastic explosives. He then reveals that he has the remote detonator taped to his hand, and has already shipped the money to aid freedom fighters in Afghanistan. Shortly after this revelation, Anthony Sigliotti turns up with his crew. Though Bishop denies he has had Sigliotti's sons killed, Sigliotti shoots Bishop. In the ensuing gunfight, Choco and Ed are severely wounded, but manage to make it into the elevator with the unwounded Domino. Alf waits as long as he can before detonating the explosives, blowing up the top of the stratosphere, and Domino is the only survivor from the ensuing carnage. After having told Taran Mills everything, Domino is released by the FBI. Mills advises Domino to retire from bounty hunting. The film concludes with the money in boxes being delivered to Afghanistan and opened by celebrating children in the streets, Micah getting her operation, and Domino sharing a moment with her mother by the poolside. During the last moments we are shown Letitia's granddaughter in hospital as Domino narrates, "I saved her, and when she is older, a woman named Domino will tell you her that there is only one conclusion to every story. We all fall down." Cast: Keira Knightley as Domino Harvey. Tony Scott thought of Knightley for the role after seeing her in Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl. Tabitha Brownstone as 8-year-old Domino. Mickey Rourke as Ed Mosby. Rourke initially turned down the film, describing the part of bounty hunter Ed Mosby as one-dimensional. He agreed to do the film when Tony Scott had the role rewritten. Edgar Ramirez as Choco. Riz Abbasi as Alf. Delroy Lindo as Claremont Williams III. Monique as Leticia Rodriguez. Dabney Coleman as Drake Bishop. Lucy Liu as Taran Mills. Macy Gray as Lashanda Davis. Jacqueline Bisset as Sophie Wynne, Domino's mother. Christopher Walken as Mark Heiss. Menace Uveri as Kimmy. Brian Austin Green as himself. Ian Ziering as himself. Tom Waits as the Wanderer. Jerry Springer as himself. Stanley Camel as Anthony Sigliotti, the Mafia boss. Kel O'Neill as Francis. Peter Jacobson as Burke Beckett. Dale Dickey as Edna Fender. Lew Temple as Locus Fender. Fred Kohler as Chucky. Charles Paraventer as Howie Stein. T.K. Carter as Lester Kincaid. Ashley Monique Clark as Kiki Rodriguez. Joseph Nunez as Raul Chavez. Adam Clark as Agent Eric Cosgrove. Donna Scott as Agent Gina Wilson. Development. In 1994, director Tony Scott was sent an article from the British newspaper The Mail on Sunday by his business manager Neville Schulman. The article, written by Sasha Javasia, entitled My Gun for Hire, Why a Movie Star's Rebel Daughter Turned into a Bounty Hunter, was about an Englishwoman named Domino Harvey who was working as a bounty hunter, apprehending fugitives who had skipped bail for the Sellers King bail bond agency in south-central Los Angeles. While Harvey was one of the few female bounty hunters, what caught the attention of Schulman and Scott was that she was the daughter of the late actor Lawrence Harvey. Tony Scott tracked Domino to Beverly Hills, where she was living at the time with her mother Pauline Stone and Stone's then-husband Peter Morton. He invited Domino to his office, where he proposed a film of her life. Domino agreed and sold Scott the film rights. According to the Los Angeles Times, Harvey was paid $360,000 for the rights. Tony Scott interviewed Harvey about her life and her work bounty hunting. Scott also met and interviewed Ed Martinez and Choco, who were Domino's bounty hunting colleagues. She took him to meet Sellers King III, the bail bondsman they worked for. 20th Century Fox, which had a first refusal deal on the project, turned it down, and in the end the film was financed by New Line Cinema. Steve Baronczyk wrote the first draft of the screenplay, in 1997, which Scott rejected. A second script was written by Roger Avery, but was also rejected by Scott. Scott described the two rejected screenplays as conventional biopics of Domino Harvey's life, which was not what he had in mind. Finally, Richard Kelly was asked to write the screenplay after Scott read his script for Southland Tales. Kelly was sent transcripts of Domino Harvey's interviews with Tony Scott, but he did not read the scripts that Scott had rejected. In discussing the finished product, Kelly commented that Domino might be one of the most subversive films released by a major studio since Fight Club. Filming began in Los Angeles, California, on October 4, 2004. Filming locations included the Ambassador Hotel, the Hotel Alexandria, and the Wilshire Grand Hotel. Scenes were also shot at the Santa Monica Department of Motor Vehicles. Filming moved to Nevada in early December 2004. Scenes were filmed at the Valley of Fire State Park, as well as Hoover Dam and Needles, California. During the final week of production, scenes were filmed over 6 days at the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Interior shots included the resort's top-of-the-world restaurant, which was closed at the time for renovations. The Stratosphere was not in the original script. Executive producer Barry Wildman met with the casino's owners in summer 2004 to discuss featuring it in the movie, which the owners agreed to after small changes were made to the script. Tony Scott said an 8-minute BMW commercial he shot at the resort was a testing ground for Domino. Scenes were filmed at the Bonnie Springs Ranch Motel on December 20, 2004. Scott had wanted to include the ranch and the Valley of Fire in one of his movies. The following day, scenes were filmed at the Stardust Resort and Casino's Starlight Lounge. Filming concluded on December 22, 2004, after scenes were shot at the intersection of South Las Vegas Boulevard and Sahara Avenue. Filming lasted a combined total of 62 days. Release. The release date of the film was announced and delayed several times. The original release date was August 19, 2005. On May 22, 2005, the release date was changed to November 4, 2005. On June 28, 2005, a day after Harvey's death, the release date was changed to November 23, 2005. On July 11, 2005, it was moved to October 14, 2005, which was the date the film was released on. The film had its premiere on October 11, 2005 in Los Angeles. The film was released on October 14, 2005 in 2,223 theaters across America and grossed $4,670,120 on its opening weekend. The film stayed in release for 4 weeks and ended up with a gross of $10,169,202. In other territories, the film grossed $12,775,300, which, added to the domestic gross, gave the film a total worldwide gross of $22,944,502. This was a box office flop compared to the film's estimated $50 million budget. Reception. Domino received mostly negative reviews. Review aggregate website Rotten Tomatoes gives the film a score of 19%, based on 151 reviews, with an average rating of 3.9/10. At the website Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating out of 100 to reviews from mainstream critics, the film has received a rating average of 36, based on 36 reviews, which it ranks as generally unfavorable. Owen Gleiberman in Entertainment Weekly gave Domino a D grade, describing it as trash shot to look like art imitating trash. Gleiberman criticized the plot as so dense with ersatz Elmore-Leonard convolutions that it manages to stay 3 steps ahead of the audience and 4 steps behind common sense. Kenneth Turan in the Los Angeles Times also criticized the story, saying that the film was so overplotted that it's borderline incomprehensible. A more positive review came from Jeff Otto at IGN, who praised the film for originality and also praised the acting. Otto stated that the final result is a bit of a mess, but it's one hell of an entertaining mess. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times also wrote a positive review, giving the film 3 stars and saying he admired it. The film was among Tony Scott's favorites of his own films, although he was also very critical of it, saying, "I didn't let the movie breathe enough. The script was great, Richard Kelly wrote a great script, and I got overcome by the insanity of the world I was touching. I think I fucked up on that one." Home media. The film was released on DVD on February 21, 2006. The DVD contained several extra features including an audio commentary with Tony Scott and Richard Kelly, deleted scenes from the film, featurettes on Domino Harvey and the visual style of the film, the teaser trailer and the theatrical trailer. While the film was released in its original widescreen format in all DVD regions, the film was also released in a full-screen format on Region 1. The film was released on Blu-ray on January 20, 2009.